Have you ever felt like you're not that smart? Like everyone around you just seems to understand things faster, connect ideas quicker, or move through life with a confidence you don't feel you have? What if the problem was never your intelligence, but the way intelligence has been defined around you? What if your brain doesn't advertise its ability, it disguises it? Stay with me until the end, because the signs you're about to hear don't look like intelligence in movies, classrooms, or social media. They don't show up as loud confidence, instant answers, or effortless success. They show up quietly, often misunderstood, often mislabeled. And neuroscience suggests that many people with higher than average intelligence spend years believing they're actually behind. Here's the uncomfortable truth. High IQ doesn't always look like being fast. It often looks like being slow because you're processing more. It doesn't always look like certainty. It looks like doubt because you're aware of complexity. And it doesn't always look like confidence. It looks like questioning because your brain refuses simple answers. Modern culture rewards visible intelligence, quick responses, strong opinions, immediate clarity. But intelligence doesn't evolve for performance, it evolves for adaptation. Some brains are built to react, others are built to observe. And the second type often goes unnoticed, even by the person living inside it. Psychologists have found that people with higher cognitive capacity are often more aware of what they don't know. They spot gaps, they notice contradictions, they see layers where others see conclusions. This creates an internal experience that feels nothing like being smart. It feels like overthinking, like hesitation, like mental noise, which is why so many intelligent people grow up thinking something is wrong with them. But intelligence isn't about how loudly your mind speaks. It's about how much it hears. And the signs of a high IQ are rarely dramatic. They're subtle. They're internal, and most people never learn to recognize them. So let's start decoding them one by one, because the first sign of a highly intelligent mind isn't brilliance, it's something far more misunderstood. One of the most misunderstood signs of high intelligence is something people rarely talk about openly. You talk to yourself. Not in a dramatic way, not out loud in public, but internally. Constantly. You rehearse conversations before they happen. You replay them after they're over. You narrate your decisions, your doubts, your plans. To the outside world, this looks strange. To neuroscience, it looks like advanced cognitive processing. Studies from the University of Wisconsin found that people who verbalize their thoughts, even silently, process information faster and retain it longer. When you talk to yourself, you're not being unfocused. You're actively structuring complex ideas. You're coaching your own brain. This is called self-directed cognition, and it's a hallmark of higher intelligence. Your mind isn't waiting for clarity from the outside, it's generating it internally. But that inward focus has a side effect. You overthink. You analyze conversations long after they end. You question decisions that others move past easily. You imagine multiple outcomes instead of settling for one. And because society often equates calm with confidence, this internal complexity gets mislabeled as anxiety. But neuroscientists call this metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. It's not rumination, it's simulation. Your brain runs scenarios not because it's afraid, but because it's capable. Highly intelligent minds don't move through life on autopilot. They interrogate experience, they test assumptions, they explore consequences before committing. Which is why many intelligent people feel mentally exhausted, even when nothing happened. Their brain has already lived several versions of the moment. This also explains something else that confuses people around you. You get bored easily. Repetition drains you. Routine feels suffocating. Tasks that others tolerate quickly feel meaningless. This isn't laziness, it's dopamine economics. Highly intelligent brains have faster reward prediction systems. They extract less dopamine from simple, repetitive tasks because the challenge is gone too quickly. Once your brain understands a pattern, it loses interest, so it looks for novelty, complexity, depth. And when it doesn't find it, boredom sets in, not because you lack discipline, but because your mind is understimulated. This is why intelligent people often struggle in systems built on repetition, schools, certain jobs, rigid routines. Their brains aren't designed for maintenance, they're designed for exploration. And this mismatch creates another misunderstood trait. You doubt yourself, constantly. Not because you're incapable, but because you're aware. This is where the Dunning-Kruger effect comes in. People with low ability tend to overestimate themselves. People with high ability tend to underestimate themselves because they see how much there is to know. If you regularly question your competence, your understanding, your conclusions, that's not insecurity, that's cognitive humility. Your brain isn't confused, it's calibrated. Another pattern shows up again and again in highly intelligent minds. You stay up late, not because you lack discipline, not because you're irresponsible, but because night removes noise. Research from the London School of Economics found that people who prefer late hours tend to score higher on intelligence measures. When the world quiets down, distractions fade, and your brain finally gets space to wander. This is when insights surface, connections form, ideas that were buried under stimulation rise naturally. For highly intelligent people, thinking isn't something you switch off at night. It's something that finally gets uninterrupted time. But that sensitivity cuts both ways. You're sensitive to noise, ticking clocks, loud chewing, background conversations no one else seems to notice. This isn't irritability, it's heightened sensory processing. Your brain absorbs more information from the environment than average. That helps you detect patterns faster, but it also means overstimulation arrives sooner. Your nervous system doesn't filter aggressively, it registers, which is why silence feels restorative and chaos feels draining. This heightened processing also explains a trait many people mistake for a flaw. You procrastinate. Psychologists at the University of Calgary discovered that many high IQ individuals engage in active procrastination. Your brain resists shallow effort. It doesn't want to move until something feels meaningful. So you delay not to avoid responsibility, but to wait for relevance. And when the pressure finally aligns with purpose, you lock in completely. That's why many intelligent people do their best work at the last minute. Not because they're careless, but because urgency filters distraction. Another subtle sign shows up in memory. You remember random details no one else does. A date, a sentence, a minor fact from years ago. Yet somehow you forget where you put your keys. That's not inconsistency, it's working memory specialization. Highly intelligent minds don't store information based on importance, they store it based on novelty and connection. If something sparks meaning, curiosity, or emotional relevance, it sticks. Practical repetition doesn't. This uneven memory profile confuses people, but neurologically it's efficient. And then there's the part almost no one expects. You feel emotions deeply. This is often mistaken for weakness, but neuroscience shows that emotional depth and cognitive depth are closely linked. Intelligent brains don't just analyze more, they experience more. Empathy, sensitivity, emotional nuance. These aren't distractions from intelligence, they're expressions of it. Your brain isn't just processing facts, it's processing human complexity. And that's exhausting, but also sophisticated. There's one final sign that quietly ties everything together. You never stop learning. Not because you're trying to prove something, not because you feel behind, but because your brain is uncomfortable with stagnation. Highly intelligent people don't experience knowledge as a destination, they experience it as a process. They read even when no one is watching. They ask questions even when they already understand the basics. They seek better explanations, not louder answers. This trait shows up across history in people we now call geniuses. Not confidence, not dominance, curiosity, a constant sense that there's more beneath the surface. And here's the part most people miss. This drive doesn't always look impressive. It can look like distraction, like restlessness, like dissatisfaction. But neurologically, it's your brain refusing to settle for shallow understanding. If you're watching something like this right now, trying to understand yourself better, trying to make sense of how your mind works, that alone is a signal. Because intelligence isn't about grades, it isn't about test scores, and it definitely isn't about how fast you answer questions in public. It's about awareness, adaptability, curiosity, depth. It's about noticing patterns others overlook, feeling complexity others avoid, and asking questions most people never think to ask. So the next time someone calls you too sensitive, too quiet, too lost in your head, don't rush to correct them, because that's often what intelligence looks like before the world knows what to do with it. And if this opened your eyes even slightly, if something here felt uncomfortably familiar, hit subscribe, because understanding your mind isn't a weakness, it's your advantage.